Few things came up about boundaries, quite a few different perspectives, and um, perhaps just ways of understanding them. Um, why are they so difficult to set? Yeah. And why sometimes they just work like magic. Also, understanding um, why are we setting boundaries? What is the need for setting boundaries for ourselves, right? For our own reasons, for our own stories. And I think boundaries we need to work through self-questioning without judgment, yeah, to find out how and why we're setting those boundaries. Because one of the reasons sometimes boundaries don't seem to work is because we set them too early. Too early. So what does that mean? If we are setting boundaries from a frustrated point of view, from resentment, from guilt, from fear, that's setting boundaries too early. It's very difficult to set boundaries from those spaces because as it comes from us, from those spaces, from frustration, guilt, fear, it's received by the other person, by the other people, by the other situations on the other side of those boundaries the same way. And this is how mirror reflection works, right? What comes from us is mirror reflected on others and vice versa. So if you put yourself on the other side of boundaries of the boundary line of somebody else's, if they're setting boundaries from a frustrated point of view from themselves or fear, the boundaries are a little bit more harsh, aren't they? They come across a little bit more harsh. If we work through that which you're fearing, that which you're frustrated, that which you feeling burdened, that which you're feeling, these dense energies, if you work through it and release them, you might not need to set boundaries, but if you still do, it will come from a different place. It will come from the place of understanding about yourself, understanding about your stories, understanding about your feelings. And a lot of those boundaries will come from self-love. Because when you're trying to set boundaries from self-protection, because this is how we associate boundaries, isn't it? To protect ourselves. It's a barrier to protect ourselves. But what we're protecting ourselves from and what we're protecting ourselves for. So those are really good questions to journal on because it will show whether you are setting boundaries from, a place of rebellious energy or a place of self-love. For example, let's say you're feeling burdened with housework. Let's put it that way. Simple. Housework. We all get there sometimes. And what's that burden from, right? Is it because you try to be a perfectionist, make sure everything's perfect? Is it because others in the house don't seem to notice? You're not feeling noticed? Is it because you want everyone to cooperate and you don't feel heard? Where's that frustration coming from? Where's that burden coming from? What if you work through those things? What if you work through not being so perfectionist? What if you work through not feeling that you're not being heard? Would those boundaries need to be set from such a strict or perhaps protective space? Or would those boundaries be set from the fact that you have found self-love, you have found a space within yourself to respect you, to allow yourself to be who you are? And therefore, these boundaries are much more accepted when you set them because you're coming from love. So the mirror reflecting love, people will find strange at first, but they won't have major reactions to it because there is this mirror reflection of love. They don't even know why they're not reacting, but it's a soul level way of communicating that boundary. Yeah, because when we set boundaries, we don't set boundaries just from the physical aspect or the emotional aspect or the mental aspect. We also set boundaries from the energetic aspect of it, from the soul level aspects of it. So I invite you to have a look at future dates. I will be talking about boundaries in my Wisdom Activator 369 session. And through these sessions, we actually get activated to heal that which we need to release, to be able to then set boundaries from a very loving space for ourselves, a compassionate space for ourselves and others, a forgiving space for ourselves and others. And when you set boundaries from these places, you know, it works. It works for both people. And it also mirror reflects to the other person. Love for themselves. So setting boundaries too early can be difficult. It can be hard. You know, your first feeling of setting boundaries perhaps is not even that you want or, you know, you would like to set boundaries, but you have to. You feel that you have to. And even through the have to, you find it difficult perhaps to say no. Yeah. But before you say no, to set a boundary, ask yourself before that, ask yourself, what am I allowing myself to get into here? Because sometimes working on what you're allowing yourself to get yourself into might completely eliminate the need for boundaries to be set. Yeah? So there's so many different ways of looking at it, different aspects, different dimensions, because we're all energetic beings and we live in a multidimensional way of being. We just don't realize yet, but we are becoming more aware and we are learning to have different perspectives and we're learning to work with those different perspectives to make changes for ourselves, to make changes in our lives, to make changes in our relations. So I invite you to have a look. If you sign up as a free member on Patreon, you will be able to see the date releases for the sessions, and then you can purchase individual one. You don't have to become a member, but you have access to the dates, and then you can purchase and get the link for the private Zoom sessions. If you decide to become a member, you have, I think, 7 days trial. I'm going to extend that to 30 days actually. And we offer heart chakra guided meditation where so much healing takes place, so much healing. It's a lovely space, lovely energy that we just bathe ourselves in it. And the healings that's been happening in the group has been amazing. There's also a weekly distant Reiki session that I join and offer with you. And discount on all the sessions that you perhaps want to attend. So if you are a member, you get 50% discount. Okay. And the sessions are being delivered throughout the month. And I hope to see you there. And also check out my YouTube and subscribe because you'll be receiving notifications of free meditations and chats like this to help you understand what the sessions is about. And if you resonate, then you know it's your choice to move through it, to move with it, to move forward with it. And even if you don't worry because the universe will bring you that which resonated here. Even if you don't sign up, the universe will bring you in a different way for you to see, for you to experience, for you to heal. And even through this is just resonating is an activation for you. And trust and believe that that resonance will come to be shown to you so that you can learn more in depth what it really means for you, only for you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing yourself to feel this field and receive the activations as I am receiving right now as well. And I hope to see you soon. Sending you love and light.